Welcome, everybody, to the Awaken Sober Podcast. It's a podcast about life and recovery through Christ. What's up, everybody? Want to say shout out real quick to Tactile Turn, our sponsors. Love you guys. Thank you all for looking out for us. And today we're going to be discussing step 3 again, right?
Okay.
Yay, Jerm. Glad you're back, bud. Missed you last week.
Glad to be back.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Mike, always a pleasure.
Hello. Glad to be here.
All right. So how's everybody's weeks going? How's your week going, Mike?
It's going good.
His week's over.
That's a true story.
Yeah, it's my Friday.
Yeah,
Friday. What?
That's not fair. Your Friday is my Monday.
Well, how is that not fair?
Yeah,
That's
because
fair.
So you were off when we were off.
yeah,
When we were working.
You guys are always off. There's a difference.
he's lying.
No, whatever.
That is total lies. No,
was
man, my week's been good. Had a really good celebrate last night.
Celebrate what?
Recovery.
Oh, a little CR action?
Yeah. Some
I
of
gotta
us
get
attend.
I gotta get those song names because those songs, a couple of those songs were really, really awesome.
Yeah.
I find myself like, ooh, yeah, that's nice. But no, this week has been rewarding. It's been busy, it really has. But I'm getting some consulting from our illustrious boss. Trying to get better at what I do, and just being open, being open-minded and really checking myself because I do want to be the absolute best, counselor that I possibly can be. So just asking for advice, talking to you guys, asking for advice. It's always great to learn, and luckily I'm surrounded by great people who I do want to learn from. And yeah, man, life is good. My soul is, I want to say on fire in a good way though. My soul is not burning, but I'm feeling great, man.
Right.
Life is good. So, Perm, how's your week, brother?
It's good.
Don't you even go there. Man.
It's
good.
It's good. It's good. I'm good.
It's good.
Yeah, tomorrow's
Hey,
my
what was
Friday.
that? Bruce Almighty.
It's good.
It's good.
Good. Good. B-E-A-U.
Hey. Yeah. No, it's yeah. I mean, it's another day, another dollar. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Just saving lives.
Okay.
That's all we do.
Improving lives.
Improving lives.
Improving the lives that we touch.
You get paid $1? I get a bologna sandwich at lunch, man.
Hey, man, that's at least, that's more than a lot of people have.
That's a true story. I'll give you that.
So,
You guys are eating.
so you're saying you have food.
You guys are eating at lunch?
As if anybody's looking at us on camera, they're going to see that we probably don't miss too many meals.
I refuse to miss meals.
Yeah.
Took a long time to get this figure.
D's got his own bag of churro chips.
Man, don't eat any of my churro chips. They just sitting
No, those are your churro chips. They've been on that couch for a little while.
They have, too.
Like a rabid dog going over there.
No, it's it's going good. Work's good. Life's good. We're out of town last weekend for a volleyball tournament, so it's an exciting time of year for the my household. So
Nice.
sports every weekend. Yay!
Fun.
Yay! How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I just say, man, I don't question my worth at work, but at the same time, it's
We
like
do.
funny guy. Everybody got
Got him.
jokes. Look at that.
Got him.
It's a comedy show tonight, guys. What a podcast. No, but it's just fun. I mean, obviously, I'm worth something more than even I would think that I am because I'm giving certain clients for a reason, and it's like I never really saw that being a part of my work. But you know what? I'm okay with it. So it works for me, and doing just outside of that, I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good.
Can't complain one bit, man, for sure.
Wow. Good to hear.
So today, well, we're missing our compadre.
Yes.
Yes. The elder statesman. on the podcast. Wait,
Elder statesman.
is he the eldest?
Yeah.
He
Oh,
is
yeah.
the,
By
he is the
far.
eldest.
I didn't
by
think he was
far,
good.
by a couple years.
I thought it was a couple of years because Derek looks a lot better than what he is. So
My God.
You ain't got to build me up, Dud. I'm
I'm
already
just,
done.
I'm the baby. So
This is true.
so Shane, can't wait to have you back, man. You're taking care of some business, and
Well, let's throw up what he's taking care of, though. He's working on a testimony with an individual who we have worked with for years that finally has a year completely
Yeah.
sober.
Yep.
And he'll be back on the program before too long doing another interview with us and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
yeah,
But I'm very, very excited that he's doing that right now. And proving, even him outside of the aviary, he's doing proving lives he touched.
Yeah.
absolutely,
Good.
How about that?
absolutely.
So what did you guys? I did. So I obviously wasn't here last week. So you guys touched a little bit more on step 3. Is that correct?
Yeah, we did went through the thriving, surviving,
Our
prosperity
will.
over riches.
We did wills and lives, or lives and wills.
Yeah,
Okay.
Discussing the different interpretations.
that's what you guys did.
Oh, that is what we did.
Right. Last week we got into the willingness versus willfulness, prosperity outside of riches, surviving versus thriving.
Oh, yeah, that is right.
We got into all that last week, and that so
We do a lot of recording, y'all. So
yeah. And if y'all missed it, should have dropped by now, and you guys be able to share to watch it. It was really good. You'd enjoy the thriving and surviving and stuff. So, like, real quick, what is the difference to you? What is thriving and what is surviving?
Thriving is, I don't know, being successful.
What's, as Shane would say, since he's
Oh,
not
my
here,
gosh, what's
what does
success?
success mean to you?
I think going in a positive direction. I know. I can't even talk. Surviving is literally just kind of scraping by.
Okay.
And then I think of thriving as in I'm at peace with everything that's going on and can see the good in everything that's around me. Whereas if I'm surviving, it's like I'm just waking up just to check off another box.
Yeah. You know, it's really surprising how many individuals I speak to that does not like the term of checking boxes.
I don't like checking boxes because Amy's a checklist person.
No, I mean, I'm calling people out on being box checkers, and they're like, no.
What do you mean being a box checker?
So I got to speak with an individual, and we started discussing. He's like, well, I got to do this. I got to make sure this, and this. I said, so you're checking boxes. Yeah, doesn't everybody? I'm like, no.
Well, shouldn't you be checking boxes?
No, for what? Look, like he tried to call me out when I go to the gym. Okay, so I go into the gym, I go to work out. I'm working out biceps and triceps today. Do I check off each one I do? No, I go and work out. It's not a box check. That's just part of my recovery that I need to do in order to maintain.
Curls for the girls.
No.
yeah.
My
Fries for the guys.
shut the front door.
Sorry.
So thank you for your interpretation of surviving and thriving. So we've talked about step 3 for a couple weeks, and we'll continue to talk about it. We talked about what it is, and the next episode, listeners will hear about wills versus lives versus wills, but we haven't really talked about how to work a step 3, and that's really where I want to dive in today. So when I'm gonna start with a few tips. So here's 4 tips on how to work step 3. Be open to receiving help, even though we know it's difficult to give up control. Recognize that working step 3 is a process, not an immediate solution.
There's that word again.
That process word.
Yeah.
What's the definition?
A series of something
Of
to get a particular result.
Yes. Series of
Steps.
steps and procedures to reach a final
Particular.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah. We could butcher it together.
Close enough.
Yeah, if you both keep talking, we'll get it out. Number 3, determine what is within your control and what is not. And then finally, working with a counselor or a therapist to learn how to cope with negative feelings.
I don't need no counselor.
I don't need no double negatives.
He needs a counselor on his talk therapy there.
Yeah,
I said a couple weeks ago I didn't go to Harvard or Yale, so I'm good.
This is true.
Yeah.
Community college.
I think therapy is very important. That's all I got.
That's all you got. Therapy is important, and
Therapy is good.
I like getting the tough guys thinking just like that. I don't need therapy. I don't need counseling.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Do I look like the kind of guy that needs counseling?
Yep.
Shut up. But and they're like, no. Let me tell you, this is my psychiatrist. Here's his name. Here's my therapist. Here's my sponsor. This is the meetings I go to throughout the week.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how big and bad you truly think you are. Yeah, you're going to need help. That's the whole thing with step 3. Finding that higher power, finding that something greater than yourself, because there's definitely something greater than yourself out there. If you're constantly thinking that you're the greatest that's got to come, failure's like not far off.
Yeah.
Because everybody that I know that's tried to do everything themselves has failed and come back multiple times.
So just being open to accepting help.
Yeah.
We talk about open-mindedness all the time.
I think it's more the whole getting out of the denial of the fact you don't need help.
Yeah. Yeah.
First 3 steps, either way you look at it, you're going to need help one way or another.
Right.
Where does self-will fit into this?
Actually, we pack it up, throw it out. Only self-will. I mean, what do you mean?
That's the question. Where does self-will, or is there any self-will that fits into a step 3?
I think the only self-will is being willing to admit that there is a power greater than yourself that you need in your life. There, boom. You're not after that. Your will's off the table.
Because I had somebody argue with me today that in AA, they say we were a I'm going to butcher this, but
Go ahead.
we were an example of self-will run riot.
Yep.
Okay. But it takes a little bit of my argument against that is yes, that is true. And they were saying that self-will is all negative. But it takes a certain set of, it takes some self-will to even get into recovery, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it takes some self-will to commit to a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
I know. I agree with that part.
Oh, okay.
After that, what do you got?
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's it.
I think, and I can appreciate that because yes, you are the one doing the work, right? But having a higher power is, or accepting the fact that there is something greater than myself is I'm not doing it for, like I am doing it for myself, but I'm not doing it for myself. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? It's not self-satisfying why I'm doing this. Does that make sense?
You're not being self-centered.
I'm not being self-centered, right? And so I think, yeah, you are making that decision, but I don't know if I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I made the decision to turn my will in my life in my will in my life over to the care of God as I understood Him. I made that decision. So therein lies a certain self-will, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm not doing it just so I can say I did it. I'm doing it to thrive. I'm doing it so I can give it to someone else. At least that's where I'm getting to.
Is there any such thing as a selfless act?
We've had this discussion before, man. I don't want to get back into this because
I'm sorry. Do you have someplace else to be right now?
no, that's true. Right here on this
You're stuck.
podcast, this is where I belong.
You're stuck here, bud.
And
I know we've asked that question before, but I mean because that got brought up again too. Is there such thing as a completely selfless act? Dun, dun, dun.
I want to say no, but at the same time,
I mean, if I'm protecting someone and I'm jumping in front of a bullet, I'm not getting anything out of that except death.
Maybe.
at the
Maybe
same
you don't die.
Yeah, but at the
but I'm
same
not doing
time,
it
I
for
ain't trying to
me.
jump in front of a bullet for
Well,
anybody.
yeah.
I mean, that's just me. I'm just saying.
I hear what you're saying. I mean, I think there is. I don't know if there is anything but a selfless act. I really don't. Like a truly selfless act. Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's a fine line right there, man. Because I know a lot of the things that we do, especially that we do for individuals, we're not really doing that for much gratitude for ourselves. But at the same time, we still get that rush, that thrill that we do get for doing what we do. Any person that shows up to a meeting after I spoke with them, that kind of feels good. I didn't do it for that because I want to see them get the work, help and stuff they need and put forth the work and doing it. But at the same time, I'm still getting something out of it.
It's exciting when you see somebody follow through with the suggestions.
Oh, yeah,
that we give.
without a doubt.
It is really nice.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, yeah, they're following my suggestions.
I did that, right? Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I'm the reason they're here. No, it's the, we talk about it. It's the program. It's not our program. It's how we interpret it, right? Mm-hmm. So if I see that and somebody does it, I'm like, yes.
Nice.
Like not, yeah, Mike, good job. But like, yeah, man, like that's what it's all about, taking those suggestions because that's what we had to do early on. And that's what we have to continue to do to maintain our sobriety.
Mm. Yes.
He agrees.
He does, I think. In one word.
Yes.
Yes.
So when you did your step 3, when you worked your step 3, how did you figure out how your self-will affected others? Did that play any role in your step 3? How did it affect others? How did your self-will affect others?
Well, because it was my attitude and stuff that was upsetting a lot of people. Because, me not listening to what they had to share, me not doing what I needed to do for myself. Because, I don't need that kind of work. I don't need that kind of help. Mm-hmm. That was, people were having to look at me like, oh, that guy's going to end up dead if he doesn't change. So, that could put an effect on somebody having to deal with that. So
I didn't know about it until I got sober. I didn't realize how it affected people until I actually got sober. Because I thought everything was fine. But the further I got into recovery, the more I realized, oh man, I was like a big stone you throw into a lake, and there was a huge ripple effect. And by working that step 3 and saying, okay, I'm not going to live by my will anymore. I'm going to live by God's will. I can start to mend some of that stuff. I can make those ripples smaller and smaller and smaller. But yeah, like in the midst of it and in the heat of it, do we really understand what our self-will is? Not really. I don't think so. We're just doing things for us. Do we call that self-will, or we just call that
looking out for us?
Looking out for us.
Looking out for self.
Because we think we are surviving. We're not thriving, Mm-hmm.
Get them before they get me, and I ain't getting got, right?
Mm-hmm. What he said.
Ain't that what was said last week?
Jeremy, did you notice it before you got into the rooms and got into recovery and treatment, and
that my self-will was affecting others?
Yeah.
That I was self-centered to the extreme?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was a grade A butthole. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You were okay, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, look here.
You're great. Yeah. You're number 1.
So, and that's it. I think I touched on this a couple weeks ago. Like, my default setting is still that guy.
Yeah.
And so, because I was that guy for a very long time, and that was my coping mechanism, or my defense mechanism for everything. Right? You're getting too close to me, I'm gonna be a butthole. Right? I want everybody to see this persona of me so people don't get close to me. And so I've been very conscious of that lately, trying to change that, because I don't, being sober for several years now, it's kind of like, all right, we talk about it all the time. We need to turn our character defects into character assets. How do I do that, right? Because my defects are still there. And so how am I going to turn this into something good, And I think it's just doing it, showing others that it can be done, and being completely honest and open and transparent about it too. Like I struggle, I'm dealing with guys who have anywhere from 1 day of sobriety to, I think one of the guys in my house has just 7.5 months. And
congratulations, whoever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt T.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the elder statesman. That's
he's the elder statesman.
Yes.
Yeah, then I got another guy who's just 7 months. It's a couple days behind him. But anyway, I share as much as I possibly can because there's that ethical line there. But it's like, look, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, you have a lot to learn, and it doesn't. Not that it doesn't get harder, it doesn't get easier. It's just knowing that God is there with you and that you're taken care of. I think that's the comfort you can know is that, and that's, I think, important in step 3 is I'm turning my life over to Jesus once, right? I have to turn my will over to him each and every single day. And I know that if I do that, and sometimes it's several times throughout the day, sometimes I forget, oh, wait, why am I so angry? Oh, it's because I'm being self-centered. And so it's kind of like you have to constantly be resetting yourself throughout the day. But then you have to be willing to take suggestions from the people that want to, that I have in my life that hold me accountable, whether it be you, or other people we work with. It's like, I need you to call me out on stuff, and I might be a little agitated about it, but I need to hear it.
Yeah.
I think they call that.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it's a process.
Process. Back to the process.
Back to the process.
That's the second tip. It's not an immediate fix. It's not an immediate solution or cure, right? It is constantly growing, and it's constantly, turning that will over.
Back to what you were sharing about, that it doesn't actually get easier, but one of the things I like to share, but it starts becoming more capable to maintain.
Right.
It's not so much that it's easier to handle; it's just more capable of maintaining.
And I think it goes back to accepting life on life's terms. And it's like, look, there's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. There's going to be birth. There's going to be death. There's going to be struggles along the way. And as long as I can actually say, you know what, I don't have to drink over any of that today. I don't have to go to the bottle. I don't have to go to the bag. I don't have to go anything. I'm gonna experience it because that's the way God intended it to be. And I think that's what gets me through the day.
I never paid attention to it, but I just had a thought. We're doing the Celebrate Recovery Serenity Prayer, it talks about, taking as Jesus did the sinful world as it is and not as I would have it. It kind of goes right on the lines like you just shared about taking life on life's terms.
Yeah.
I never really paid attention to that before.
I didn't either.
5 years of this, boom, now I finally get it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So
I didn't need your help.
Which ties into step 3, identifying what is out of our control and what is in our control. Life on life's terms, to me, that is basically relinquish control because you really don't have any. I have control over my reactions, my thoughts, sometimes my emotions, But typically when I have a poor reaction, I get poor emotions, which lead to poor thoughts.
And then before that would also lead to poor decisions, and then next thing you know, we're stuck.
Yep. Reactions lead to bad emotions, which leads to bad thoughts, which leads to
hey, that's that triangle
actions.
thing, ain't it?
That is that triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that triangle thing.
Triangle thing.
That's
L7, baby.
Yeah, that triangle thing. Triangle. But that was one of the biggest things that for me was finding out and really relinquishing that control, because I used to try to control everything, and when I'm in my bad self and I'm in those bad behaviors, I still do try to control everything, but I have to realize, it's not my will, it's thy will, not my will, mm-hmm. And the more I can be reminded of that by people in my circle, the easier it is. And when we start teaching and we start teaching all these coping skills to get rid of our coping mechanisms, I love how Christina said that last night. That was really awesome. Mechanisms are the negative things, skills are the positive things. When we get rid of those and we practice those good coping skills, it stops becoming something that I'm doing. It just becomes a part of who I am, So like you said, it gets more manageable. It gets more maintainable, right? Mm-hmm. It's not I'm doing these things or I'm giving it over actively, but it's not passively either. It's just kind of it is,
Yeah. When I share about the mechanisms and skills, the mechanisms, excuse me, I can't speak.
Humidity.
We go again.
Yeah, we know.
Humidity. Anyway, a mechanism is a device that's there to pick up and use with no problem, and it's so much easier just to pick something up and use it than it is to actually learn something, which a skill is something that is learned. So if you really want to, work on your recovery, put down the mechanisms and start learning the skills, because they're more appreciative when you learn a skill.
And a skill you can pass on.
Yes.
And we're dropping a bunch of wisdom on y'all tonight.
Ooh, bringing it. Must have had a good day at work today, guys.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It was long. But, what are you going to do? Another day, another dollar, as Jeremy likes to say.
How did your reactions to life events make you suffer?
Make you suffer?
Mm-hmm. How did your reactions to life events make you suffer?
Ooh, come on now. By making everybody else suffer?
Yeah.
Because, let's look at it. Death in the family. What's the first thing you do? You snap. You want to be like, why couldn't I have protected my family member? Why couldn't I have done this? You know what? I'm not putting up with this. I'm not going to be like this. You know what? You should have did something about it. It was all on you. It's your fault that it happened. Da-da-da-da-da, right? That's how I suffered in life events, is making everybody else suffer. And then everybody mad at me because I'm being
Yeah. Yeah. Mine didn't take big things. Mine was, frankly, man, if I woke up, I was drinking. I was getting high. It wasn't even like a poor reaction. It was just it was the way of life. It could have been the smallest, minute thing, and it would completely have blown my day up. Completely. Mm-hmm. And I might have done something good that day, but I didn't remember the good thing. I remember that awful thing, which made my reactions that much worse. Mm-hmm. And just kept me in that cycle.
Dude, I remember back in the times when, just like you said, just waking up was excuse enough to use.
Yeah.
The only reason I needed was to wake up. If I woke up, I was using.
You're trying to drink yourself to death. You wake up, you failed. Okay, so I failed at that. I better
gotta
try
do it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is you're using.
Yeah, I was thinking, somebody said something today, and I was like, I was playing the tape back through of like my last 3 months of drinking, and I seriously got sick to my stomach thinking about it, because I was like, man, I would wake up and obsess over it. I'd go to work. On my way to work, I'd stop and get alcohol. And then I couldn't wait for work to get started and get everybody in their position so I can go back to the gas station so I could get more alcohol, and then just be hammered drunk and then have to leave. Be like, I don't feel good. Yeah. Just so I could drink more and then go home and lie about it.
And then drink more.
Drink more. Yeah. And so it was. Yeah. I agree with you, Derek. I was miserable, so everybody else was going to be miserable. That was my reaction to everything. You know what? I'm going to suffer, so you're going to suffer too.
Mine was worried. Like my family was worried. Like, because I was living at home before, and I still do, but it's a little healthier these days. No one in my family knew that I was drinking the way I was. No one. My mom knew that I was really depressed. But when I went into treatment, they're like, "Why are you doing that? What's so wrong with your use?" I was like, "Well, you want to know? I was drinking a bottle a day every day for about 6 months. I don't feel good, and once I told that to people, my family especially, it wasn't. I'm glad that it wasn't like, oh man, that stinks. I'm really, really sorry that it was like, okay, let's get the help we need and let's go. But at the same time, in the midst of everything that was going on, I wouldn't have noticed even if it was affecting people, negatively.
But was it that you wouldn't have noticed or you wouldn't have cared?
Both. And if someone brought me something, I would be like, whatever. What are you talking about?
Right.
It's not that bad. And I would lie.
No, my thing was, so going back to the turning it off on the other people, was I was trying to find humor in making them feel bad. So I was trying to feel better about the situation by making them feel bad.
Ooh, yeah. But then when somebody gave you something, it was like,
oh, I'm smacking them like, Bink,
Oh
right
man,
upside the
like
head.
I can't handle it. I can dish it out, but I couldn't take it.
Do you have any specific examples of how you turned your life and will over to your addiction?
I got scars on my arm from when I used certain things to do. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's one of the things. I don't have my daughters in my life because of my addiction. Not as much as I would want them in my life, anyways.
Mike.
Yeah, I have a ruined relationship with a fiance that I thought I was going to be with. I have 2 scars on both my eyebrows and my nose. So every time I look in the mirror, they're all induced by substance use. One, I opened up my my car door into my face, completely into my face, and I cracked my eyebrow open. And it wasn't even my car. My mom was picking me up to go to work.
It was your mom's car. You were getting in the passenger seat.
I was getting in the passenger seat, and I was mad because I was late for work, and I went wham. She goes, "Oh my god!" I went to work. She got a butterfly stitch and got me closed up, and yeah.
That's so funny. I don't know why. I'm just picturing Mike getting smoked.
Just smoked myself, and I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" And then another one was, and I could go on. I got stories for days, but
Right?
Every time you get in your car, you remember, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
easy. I'm gonna get around this guy real quick. Better watch yourself, door. But yeah, there's plenty of reminders. You know, the big ones, the people that I don't have in my life anymore. And it's not like, oh man, I wish that they were still in my life. But it's like, I wasn't very good to the people that were in my life. You know, I stopped reaching out and I stopped connecting, and I still have, you know, I have a hard time doing that still because, you know, a lot of people that I used to hang out with still drink and get high. But that's that boundary that I had to set for myself, you know, to where I couldn't be with those people as much as I love them. It just wasn't in the cards. What about you?
No, I'm good.
Of course you're not.
You got any hitting yourself in the face with a car stories?
I couldn't. I mean, I don't know why I asked that question because I knew it would come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I lost a career because of my drinking. Not a job, a career. Failed marriage. Another lost job. It truly, like, if I think about it, it's truly amazing I'm here. I just like, I should be covered up right now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it just goes to show me that there is, I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is because I'm not smart. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the kindest, most gentle human being on the face of the earth, but yet God still has a plan for me. And I mean, it's the same thing for all of us. And I think that's where, when you make this step, I think this is bring this around to step 3, making that decision to turn your will and life over to the care of God as you understand Him. You know, it's so important knowing that I'm never going to be alone again. Yeah, I mean, at the darkest time of my life, I never have to be alone. And there's a saying that, you know, when you get into those dark places, you feel like you're getting buried, and you're not getting buried, you're getting planted. You know, because the seed grows in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay, but my negative way of thinking back then was, well, I'm getting buried. I just kill me now, right?
Pour it on.
And you know, now I realize, you know what, that was all, you know, I look at all of us and I think everything we went through prepared us for today or tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow holds, you know, but if it's to sit here and look at you guys and for 45 minutes and
smile,
then that's what I'm supposed to do, you know?
right?
So
Yesterday's the history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a present.
That's why.
Today's a gift.
That's why it's called a present.
Yes.
I mean, you're right though. We went through everything we went through to be where we're at right here, right now. Even if it is sitting at those podcasts, sharing with others that do pay attention and listen, steps and things that we had gone through to get to where we're at. And that, you ask anybody in the that's in a recovery place, well, they'll straight up tell you they want to hear more from guys like us than those with the master's degrees, because we seem to bring more to the table.
We just bring a different view to the table.
Right.
I'm not saying I want to say we bring more to the table, but we each have we each have a special set of gifts and talents and abilities, and I think that there's a place for everybody, and I think we can connect with people on a different level. I think that's how it is.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. What he said. Y'all hear that? All right. That's what I meant right there. He says he's not smart. Come on now.
I like this. This step allows you to understand that not everything is your fault or yours to fix.
Ooh, yeah.
I have a hard time relinquishing control because I am a fixer. I would probably argue that all of us are. You see a problem, you want to fix it.
Speak for yourself, Michael.
I'm telling you, nope, not my problem.
I don't believe him, but whatever.
And you all heard out there that know us, no, we lying. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, excuse me. And that's where I was talking earlier about getting that advice from people above me, like, you don't have to fix everything. Give it up. Do what you can while you can. Do what you can when you can while you can. And it's nice to hear that again and be like, yo, you don't have to fix everything.
Do what you can when you can while you can.
Yeah.
I like that.
I can't remember who I heard that from, but it was probably in a meeting by someone with wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got, D?
I was 1 John 1:7 kind of reaches out to me that someone that talks about if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of Jesus Christ, his son, purifies us all sin. That was just reaching out to me in this talk for some reason.
That's good.
Because to me, it kind of goes back to that, we think we can handle this on our own. We don't need that higher power, or we don't need a community. People who have that thought in their mind. That scripture right there saying if we, just like the steps, if we walk in the light as he is in the light, So.
Do you think you would have found Christ if it wasn't for the desperation?
Yes, but not the way I have found him.
Explain.
Because I always knew there was a God. I knew there was a Christ. I grew up in the church for the most part. It was an image that we portrayed. But, I listened. I was in there. I might as well listen, right? Get something out of it. So I always knew. But I would never have had the relationship that I have with him today if it wasn't for that desperation of needing that higher power in my life to get me through recovery. Recovery brought me back to Christ the way I needed. And I share that with everybody, and I am not afraid.
Mike?
No.
Good answer.
I can only see because I know when they see us, like it probably looks like we're all staring at each other, but we really can't see each other.
Me and Jeremy are just staring at a line of cameras, and I can't see his face.
I could see your head go, no.
No. Not a chance, man. Not a chance. If I didn't have desperation, I don't know what I mean, I turned to the bottle and I turned to the gun. I don't know what else I would have turned to, and it still took me a while to turn to God, but I was desperate to continue my recovery, and I was tired of living at my own will. Yeah, I was sober, but I was still living by my own will, and without that desperation, I wouldn't be where I am now, like at all. I wouldn't be alive, So that's what I'm like. I'm grateful, and I tell people all the time, like, don't forget that desperation. When we get a little bit of sobriety or we get a little bit of recovery, and we start feeling good, our medications are working, we forget that desperation that brought us through the door. And the people that forget that are the ones that typically don't last in recovery. Mm-hmm. My best defect is my greatest asset. That desperation is my greatest asset because I know where I was and I know where I never want to be again. So, yeah, no, without desperation, I never would have found God. Jeremy.
Yeah, you asked. What about you?
What was the question?
You asked it. How you gonna ask me what the question was when you asked the question, bruh?
Answer the question.
I've shared this before, but I did not see God in everything until I went back and started kind of playing that tape through. And then I look at everything, all the bad stuff that I did that led me up to October 21st. Looking back on that and how I ended up in treatment and the people that I've met along the way, there is no doubt in my mind that God had his hand in this the entire time.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it was out of that desperation that I found the intimate relationship with God. And I'll be the first to admit I'm not good at it, I struggle just like everybody else, There's times I get
for yourself again. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
We don't have any ego.
I love it when he makes a joke and then I look and he's like, "I'm sorry."
No, don't. Keep going. Keep going. Go. It's fine.
All right, so everybody can see I'm a big guy, but this dude over here, let me tell you.
I'm a little bit bigger.
My camera zoomed in. I'm not that big. Yeah, like this way and this way.
You know what Mike told me? He said, I have a tiny head. He did. He straight up told me, he's like, did you watch the video? I said, no. Your head's so small.
I told him, I was like, when you don't wear a hat, you got a tiny head.
Oh, it's because my beard and like my 4 chins are underneath my beard. So like it just all
your chin, not your chin, but your hair does fly out there.
Yeah. And it just comes to a cone. I got one here. Job 11:13-19.
Oh, Job.
Surrender your heart to God, turn to him in prayer, and give up your sins, even those you do in secret. Excuse me. Then you won't be ashamed. You will be confident and fearless. Your troubles will go away like water beneath a bridge, and your darkest night will be brighter than noon.
Nice.
It is nice.
You got one for us there too, boss?
Oh, mine is staying with John, but we're going to go with the Gospel of John. John 14:6. And Jesus told him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me.
Amen.
Turn our will and life over to him.
Hey, I think
our life and our wills.
Yes, I want to bring up because it was brought to my attention again. I don't know if you guys watched the movie Jesus Revolution.
No,
it's on Netflix, dude. It's pretty good, and that it's back 70s times and stuff. But like one of the hippies, she was all like, I've tried to get off the drugs and stuff this way, didn't work. I tried to do it this way, it didn't work. This way works, so and it has. I've seen it work for a lot of people, and that's why we do what we do, is to bring Christ, because that way has worked. And what do you got to lose if you? Oh my gosh, you got to find a little bit of humility, and kind of surrender yourself a little bit. I said humility, man.
Humility.
Shut up. Mind your business. All right, I'm just saying. You really have nothing to lose. We don't do what we do because we get something out of this. We do this because we've seen turning our lives and our wills over to Christ. We've seen step 3 at work in our program. This is why we bring it out here, because we want to let everybody, we want to make it, I guess, more comprehensible to people and what it has done for us and what we've seen it do.
Yeah, don't be too cocky and arrogant that you think or believe that there is no God, and be blind to the idea or the fact that your idea could also be wrong. Because I think that's where, I deal with the men in recovery who, I don't believe in God. I don't want to. I think that people that believe in God are the crazy ones. Well, and how do you know your way's right? You're so sure that my way's wrong, and how can you be so sure your way's right?
Is there a top seller book on your way?
Yeah, no.
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, you can't. Like, you can't be so sure that my way's wrong and your way's right.
Right.
So tell me why I should believe in what you believe in. Mm-hmm. Well, how do you just not believe? Well, tell me. I don't know. Well,
Okay.
well, try this way. Just let me
Right.
know. Let me know how it works out.
Maintain an open mind.
Open mind, willingness.
I mean, let's even go to the newcomer who doesn't know Christ yet.
Yeah.
Coming into the program. There is something greater than yourself.
That's all you have to believe in.
That's it. You know, like I said, it was your interview that we did that you had brought up that your higher power was those rooms, those groups. That I took my time out of my life and went to see what this was really about and realized, okay, there is something greater than myself going on in here.
And this is,
So it's a start.
getting to this argument. Do you have a choice whether or not you drink or use today?
Yes.
I do.
You have a choice whether or not you pick up the bottle again or whether or not you shove some dope in your arm.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
But once you take that first drink or you take that first hit, do you have a choice anymore?
No, the disease is re-triggered and it comes out, 'cause, and I'm back at the same old thing.
Would you say that your addiction had 100% complete control over you?
I woke up to get high, yes, without a doubt.
Was that a higher power for you?
At that time, it was.
So don't be so naive to think that there's not a higher power when your
like it.
addiction in itself was your higher power. You know, well, that was a choice I made. Well, guess what? You gave in to that choice every single time.
Right.
So when people say, well, I don't believe in a higher power, well, your addiction was your higher power. So don't tell me that you can't believe in a higher power. Sorry, I'm getting all on my soapbox.
No. It's good because this is what this is about, man. We wanted people to recognize. We want people to bring people to Christ, without a doubt, because that's what we all believe in. At the same time, like you said, just recognizing that there is something greater than yourself. Because you think you can overcome your addiction. You tried that before, and it's taken you. So there, like you said, just shared, that is a power greater than yourself. Was your addiction? Why not try this one?
Yeah, something that doesn't want to kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually wants to give you eternal life. You really think about it.
It's pretty much the greatest retirement plan out there right now.
Right.
So.
Jeremy, in closing, what do you got?
No, I just think, being open, being willing to accept that there is a different way of living. There is a way of living that is far greater than anything you could ever imagine. I know as I sit here today, I can't help but be grateful for everything that God has done for me in my life. And there's no doubt in my mind that he exists. There's no doubt in my mind that someday I'm going to go be with him. And I'm happy about that. I'm at peace with that. I'm good with that. So that's it.
Amen.
Jesus loves you. That's all I got.
Yeah, right. So 1 Peter 5:6-7, right? Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, and he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you.
He does.
He does.
I'm not done yet either. I got one more.
Oh, what you got?
Hebrews 11:6.
All right, come on.
That's a good one.
And without faith, it is impossible to please him. For whoever would draw near to God must believe that he exists, and that he rewards those who seek him.
Amen.
Amen.
Hey, for those people out there, like, share, subscribe. We're on every podcast platform. Tactile Turn, thanks again for your support. We appreciate you. You got it. It's on you.
For everybody here at Awake and Sober, we'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Peace.